Okay, well, thanks very much for turning up this evening. I'm a bit of a walker, so apologies. My name's Gary. I am a content specialist for Instant Magazine, and I am here to talk about video content strategy. So I'll cover off who I am and why I'm allowed to stand up on this stage talking to you guys. I'll talk about my views as an overall video content strategy and how to build, the essentials you need to have in that strategy, how to actually produce your own content and then prioritize all of that lovely content that you're going to go out and make over the weekend. I'll show you some examples, we'll wrap up, I'll then have a very brief sales pitch, and then we'll open up to Q&A. Sorry if I'm a bit loud. Yeah, as Chad very kindly said, I did play in a band for a while, but that was a past life. But over the past kind of 10, 15 years, I split my working career into three sections. Jobs, my career, and my calling. Jobs, I've been a removal man, a real estate agent, and a factory worker, all on the same social ladder. My career, I spent 12 years at Vodafone, particularly in global corporate sales. I was then, for the last few years, they relocated me out to New Zealand for the last 8 years. Then for the last couple of those, I was the managing director of a creative agency, particularly in video. And now, in the last 3 months, I moved back to amazing weather, queues, traffic, and now work for Instant Magazine. We're a digital publication platform. But really, overall, what I found my calling is that I help businesses grow using relevant content. So yep, that's me. Quickly run over to my pad. So overall video network strategy. Now before I kind of explain how I put it, it is only my views. There are maybe other ways that you can build a video content strategy, but the way I position it is the TV network strategy. Now we all know the BBC. We have the network across the top. And then in this example, we have 3 channels, BBC One, BBC Two, and BBC News. And the way you guys need to look at yourselves, if you're not already doing video content structure, is look at yourselves as a TV network. So become the BBC, not internally, but become the BBC as effectively a TV network. And then think about the channels of content that you have underneath that network that relate to each demographic or each objective that you want to achieve. So in this case, obviously, we have 3 specifically different channels. And then underneath those channels, you have obviously seasons, and then within seasons, you have episodes. Very simple example. BBC is the network, BBC One is a channel, Planet Earth is the season, and episode 3, Jungles, is the episode. Now, this is just to kind of help you, put content into channels, just so you understand. And you don't necessarily need to have brand names in these videos. You don't need to have the logo at the bottom right-hand corner of every video. It can be just an internal-facing brand just to get the organization to buy into having this content. You can have it, if you have, I don't know, maybe Kershaw's, the real estate agents, you could call it Real Estate 101, for example. That could be one of their channels, and that could be a customer-facing channel. So this is kind of just the basic blueprint, for want of a better phrase, on how to structure the content. So before you've even thought about what content you need to make, you need to structure the channels before you put the programs in. And these are the 3 essential channels, I believe, any organization, whether you're a one-man band, small business, major corporate, that you should have these 3 channels. And this is probably the most important slide of the deck. You're welcome to take pictures. And really, so the first one, obviously, you have the business name, so Business Name Limited, TV. And the first channel is Thought Leadership. And it's kind of a B2B or B2C play. There's obviously a mixture of them in the room. But really, it's a thinly veiled, indirect sales pitch. Everyone knows you're really trying to sell people when you're kind of dotting around the lines. But the way I would do thought leadership are interviews and discussions in front of a camera with peers or other industry leaders on topics within your own industry. I'll go back to Kershaw's. So rather than say, hey, Kershaw's, we talk to the video and say, yeah, we do 3% fees, get a mortgage advisor and talk about interest rates and become that thought leader. Don't talk about flogging houses, talk about the issues within the industry as an indirect sales pitch. I would suggest high production. Spend some money on it, because if it is a B2B or B2C, and as a thought leader, you need to have some gloss. Not necessarily hair and makeup, but a true videographer and not an iPhone. The second one is behind the scenes. Now, this is mostly a B2C play. So what people want to do, what your customers would like to see, is behind the logo. They want to see the people. They want to see the dirtiness or not the glossy high-res logo. It can be a mixture of video and image. I mean, images are good for kind of on-the-spot, ad hoc events right now. Video, there's a little bit more time and prep, and people tend to get really nervous when, as soon as they see that red light on the camera, they start to shit themselves a little bit. You can do it yourself. In fact, I would suggest that behind the scenes, do it yourself. Don't pay for an agency or a videographer to do it for you. So therefore, it's going to be mid to low production. Just be conscious of what's in the background. Friday drinks, everyone doing shots, maybe not so much. But if you are going to use a mobile phone, everybody's got a phone in their pocket right now. Everyone's got a full video director in their pocket. There are some basic rules when looking to do your own video content, and I'll cover those off in a minute. But from a behind-the-scenes perspective, can I get everybody just to wave at the camera a little bit? Hi. So I will post that now on my social, and the company's social as well, and it'll probably get quite a huge engagement because it is that glossy selfie, apologies for the phrase. It works very well, and I'll show an example of Vend, which is a software company, about those guys moving office. They actually put a little bit more production value in this video, but it is a very good video, or a good example of behind the scenes. And the last channel, which is, again, I see essential, but not every organization can actually do it, is community involvement. And really that is, again, a B2B or a B2C play, but it has two strategies in mind, the 1 mil, 2 mil, and the boomerang. 1 mil, 2 mil is if an organization spends $1 million on charity, they then spend $2 million telling everybody they've spent $1 million on charity. The boomerang effect is, hopefully, if you give back to your community will then give back to you. Fingers crossed. And really, it's around sponsorship. You know, if there's organizations out here that sponsor a football team, or people within the organization go out on fun runs for charity, it can be at company or employee level. It doesn't need to be, hey, we are business limited, we sponsor the local kids football team. It can be, hey, Joe Bloggs is about to do a fun run for cancer research. Here's a photo of them getting muddy or whatever it is, you know? It's that behind the scenes, behind the logo, to show that they're good people. You're not just there just to take their money. We are there just to take their money. You know, again, this is another word that I dislike. Millennials. Excuse me, sorry guys. Millennials is a massive buying demographic. They've got disposable income. They've got some great opinions. They want to make a difference in the world. They're moral, they're ethical. They want to buy from ethical, moral companies. So if you can be seen to be ethical or moral, they're more inclined to choose you over not a non-ethical or unethical company, but at least highlight the fact that you're giving back to the community. So as an example, we have, and I'm hoping these videos work, we have this is a community involvement. This is great. I was amazed when I saw this video. So this is Matt Damon, obviously, and Stella. Has anyone seen this video? Cool. So a couple of you have seen it. And I was actually surprised. Like, they talk about, it's a crazy concept. They talk about water shortage, and it's a beer company, you know?
Water. Every day, women around the world spend millions of hours just collecting it. Stella Artois has partnered with us at water.org to help provide access to clean water to women and their families in the developing world. we can be the generation remembered for ending the global water crisis once and for all. What do you want to be remembered for?
Solid. It's super heavily branded. It's blatantly to sell more beer, but it's thinly veiled as a community involvement. They're giving back to the community. Now you're going to go, oh yeah, Stella, shit, they're doing a good job with the water.org, aren't they? I will buy a Stella instead of Foster's or Norwich Ale or whatever's up here. And the other one is Vend. They're a software company in New Zealand. Very cool, like the CEO's got a massive moustache. Not that that's cool, but you know. So this one is a behind-the-scenes video. I'm not going to play all of it because it gets a bit boring towards the end. They shoot cash registers with a gun. And anyway, I'll play it away. It's slightly higher production than I would usually do for behind-the-scenes. But you can kind of see the employees behind the scenes. They're all having fun. They're all cool people. And you either go to Vend or you go to Shopify. I've never seen Shopify people behind the logo. Anyway, that goes on a little bit. But just to recap, these are the 3 essential channels I would always go for when looking to build a video content strategy. Thought leadership, thinly veiled sales pitch, behind the scenes, show people behind the logo, community involvement, give 1 mil to charity, spend 2 mil telling everyone about it. So I mentioned about being able to do your own video content. So now you've kind of got your channels together. You're out. You're starting to think about concepts or who your audiences are. You can then start. Obviously, you now need to start making content. And from a professional approach perspective, you've really got 2 options. You can either go for a videographer. The videographer is it's low cost. If your budgets are thin, go directly to the person who presses the buttons. And therefore, you only have 1 person to deal with. The trouble or the challenges you're going to have when going direct to a videographer, the fact that they probably won't be able to come up with the concepts for you, so you're going to need to direct them. They're going to literally point and shoot majority of the time. You're going to need to come up with the ideas. Whereas if you employ an agency to do your video content, AdRank, you are then looking at a mid to high cost, but you get a full team looking after you. They can deliver exclusively the 3 parts of any content strategy, the concept, the production, and the distribution. There's no point making videos if no one's going to watch it. So from a professional approach, if you've got a low budget, go for a videographer, but find someone creative in your organization that can come up with the concepts. Or if you've got a bit more cash, use an agency. Now, this is if you have got very little money, or if you're nervous to spend, you've got the money, but you don't really want to employ an agency to try and sell you social media marketing as well as video production. But there are certain rules. So always have, and I broke probably all of these rules taking the photo I did earlier, excuse me, but always keep the phone horizontal. No one wants to see that Snapchat rubbish. You use the rear camera because it's going to be better quality. Make sure the room or outside is well lit, otherwise it becomes very noisy. What I mean by noisy is kind of grainy. You see kind of bits moving around in the video. And apologies, if you can use a selfie stick. You know, you don't want to have the camera right there. You want to be able to move it right round. So I literally broke 3 out of those 4 rules. So ignore me. But from an intermediate perspective, get yourself a microphone because the audio is going to be not that great. Get a spotlight if you can, if it starts to get a bit dark. A tripod, that can be a short or tall tripod. And we all know how good the iPhone batteries are. So we need to look at an external battery. Now, these are just basic guidelines when making your own video content. And Chad actually made this comment that I needed to add to the presentation. You need to find yourself a Howard. We all cringingly know Howard from the Halifax adverts. What you need to do is find someone in the organization that's good on camera. It's usually sales guys. Usually single men are usually quite outgoing. find someone who is good on camera because they're going to be the face of the organization. And then if you really want to go pro, if you really want to commit to video content strategy, get yourself a DJI Osmo. They make drones, but this is serious bit of kit and it's only 300 quid. 4K, 160 frames, does slow-mo, stabilizes your video, so even if you're nervous holding the camera, your production levels will go through the roof. You can do Facebook Live, imagery, the whole kit and caboodle. So if you've got 300 quid, I'll give you a referral link to purchase. Cool, so now you've built the content strategy. You're about to make loads of video content. You're about to make your episodes and your seasons. How do you then prioritize all of this content? So I came up with what I call a content priority matrix. And really, it's just a flash word from a spreadsheet. And we have the 3 essential channels across the top. And you have to position what you think is most valuable to you guys. Thought leadership, for me, that generates revenue. That's an indirect sales pitch. That's more important to my organization to generate cash. If you want to raise brand confidence or brand awareness, go for behind the scenes and community involvement, put that at number 1. And then what you would do, I'd love a little red pointer here, what you would do is you would list out all of your content, thought leadership, behind the scenes, community involvement, and you'd start with that first square, then those 3, then those 5, so on and so forth. And that's how you prioritize the content. You might want to go out and make 50 videos, but what do you do first? Me, I want to make cash, so thought leadership is always a focus. Yeah. So an example content strategy. So this is what I put together for Instant Magazine when I first arrived. And these are the 2 channels. And I remember me saying that these aren't customer-facing channels. These are internal brands for the organization to buy into the strategy. So we have the Content Hub and the Spotlight. The Content Hub is my thought leadership. That's my thought leadership channel. And Spotlight is behind the scenes, or just about a spotlight on the organization and about the people. So for Spotlight, these are my seasons. So publication of the month. It's quite forward. I'm never a fan of publication of the month because it's a very forward, hey, look at our super dope product. We then have a staff shout out. I'll show you an example of staff shout out in a minute. Inside word is client testimonials, but it sounds better than client testimonials. And then lastly, behind the scenes, so actual photos of people working, you know. And then the Content Hub, and we have Quote of the Week. Again, I'll show you an example. We have Content 101, so I'm actually filming this presentation right now, and this I will cut up into little 5-minute chunks, fire it out once a week, and there's probably 6 weeks worth of content on my one particular channel just by putting a camera in the corner. Monthly blogs, SEO, all that stuff that I'm really au fait with. And then the digits. And what I mean by the digits is statistics, indirect statistics that deal with your product. And again, I'll show you an example of that now, hopefully. Yeah, so Quote of the Week. I'm using an app called Spark. It's made by Adobe. It's really easy to use. Add an image, add text, add your logo, bang. The quote is a throwaway quote. I have no idea who Rebecca Leib is. But it's got the word content in it. It's got the word marketing in it. It looks cool. From a digits perspective, this is really an indirect sales pitch again. So it says, using the word video in an email subject line boosts open rates by 19%, click-through rates by 65%, and reduces unsubscribes by 26%. And at the bottom there it says, use MailChimp with your digital publication. And that is a statistic to bolster my own proposition of digital publications. I don't say buy Instant Magazine. I reinforce my product using a statistic. There's behind the scenes, or the Dutchies. Our HQ is in Amsterdam. But it's just behind the scenes, you know. It's a nice picture. You get to see people behind the actual logo themselves. And then staff shout out. Now this is in show business, they call it the threat. So sing, dance, act. You're a triple threat. This is 3 different strategies or different channels in one. There's the behind the scenes photo staged. There's the quote. And there's the staff shout out. But it's the staff behind the scenes talking about how they can improve business indirectly using their product. Like, it's a hugely powerful, again, a software company, hugely powerful piece of content there. And it's so easy to make. It takes you 5 minutes. Anybody could really do it. And lastly, we're almost at the end here. Distribution. I mentioned that there's 3 stages to any content strategy. There's the concept. Not everybody can come up with a concept. It is a tough thing to do. I don't know if you follow any marketing magazines or read Ad Age or Marketing Week, but there was the Australian Department of Finance video. Did anybody see that? No, you do not want to see it. You saw it. It's awful, eh? Like, yeah, I bet. Yeah, honestly, it looks like it's its own parody. Yeah, they spent like 37 grand. They're walking through like the offices and high-fiving each other and go, yeah, I'm off to this. It's an awful video. However, everyone's talking about it and it frustrates me. But they're talking about it for the wrong reasons. I've just told like 250 people about the video. You're all going to go and watch it now. It's an awful video. It should not be watched. So from a distribution perspective, I've got 5 major tips. Facebook Blueprint. Facebook came up with a bunch of training modules on how to get one-man band, small businesses, corporates that don't want to engage an agency to kind of knowledge them up how to use the back end of Facebook. It's like 20 hours of half-hour modules. It's amazing. It literally is facebook.com/blueprint. And they put it together so you could do it yourselves. Custom and lookalike audiences. Again, this is Facebook. Absolutely read this. This is my #1 tip in the world. Custom and lookalike audiences. I'll cover it off very quickly. You all have an email database. You can upload that email database into Facebook. Does anybody know about custom and lookalike audiences before agency, yeah. So upload your email database into Facebook. If they use that email address for their Facebook login, you can now market to those guys specifically. No one else is going to see that advert. So you could then push out an advert to everybody who's already purchased one of your products and say, hey, we know you've bought this product. How about buying this product as well? So it's quite powerful in that sense. Lookalike audiences. Now, again, get 1,000 email addresses, upload it into Facebook. What Facebook will go and do, because it knows absolutely everything about you, it will look at those first 1,000 people, and it will go and find everybody else in the world, or the city, or the county, that look like that first 1,000, but are definitely not. So if you've got 1,000 purchasers that have bought product A, Facebook will go and find everybody else in the world that will probably buy product A, but they haven't bought it yet. And that's revenue growth. That's a hugely powerful tool. Your click-through rate is probably 3% for emails. Force an advert into their newsfeed. They're already subconsciously emotive towards their newsfeed. Straight away, they're going to be subconsciously emotive towards the advert because it's in Facebook. First 5 seconds, so you all get the adverts when watching YouTube. Within 5 seconds, you can skip the advert. Majority of the time, you have no idea who that organization is advertising you because you're waiting for that 5 seconds to press. Or they don't display a logo, or they don't say the business name in the first 5 seconds. Make sure you do that. Make sure you capture people's attention, or at least get your business name across in the first 5 seconds. £1.99 strategy, that is, we're all desensitized to £1.99. We know that's £2. From a video perspective, that is, it's a new medium in comparison to currency, obviously. If you have your videos at 29 seconds or 59 seconds, people are more inclined to watch that video because they believe, oh, I've got less than 30 seconds in my life to watch this video. If it was 31, odds on they're pretty much going to swipe past it because they don't believe. People still get tricked by the £1.99 strategy. Lastly, 3 reasons for going viral. People always ask me, can you make my video go viral? No is the answer. It's the viewer that makes the video go viral. But there's a TED Talk by Kevin Aloka, who at the time was like the head of statistics at YouTube. And he said that there are only 3 reasons why a video goes viral. Audience participation. So the ice bucket challenge, holy shit, that went off. But that's people, participating as an audience. Influencers, so if Justin Bieber retweets it, it's going to get 1 million downloads. And the other one is unexpectedness. So if you get someone walking along the street talking to the camera about your organization and then they trip up, people feel that that is unexpected and want to share that experience with their friends and family. So they're the only 3 reasons why a video can go viral. And just the last little topic, sorry if I'm running over a little bit. The people ask, where do I put my video? Where's the best place to house my archive video? And really you've got 2 options, Facebook or YouTube. The answer is both, but for different reasons. Facebook is an influencer. If you were to go to Google right now, or go to YouTube right now, you already know what you're going to search for. Facebook influences your search. It's that step prior. If you see a video on Facebook, you then go to Google. So use Facebook as an influencer, but use YouTube as your archive or your catalog. And I think we're on a recap. So just to recap, obviously TV network strategy, channels, seasons, episodes, thought leadership, behind the scenes community involvement are the absolute essentials. Have a mixture of video and images. Dependent on budget, look at professional versus do it yourself. Have specific rules around using your smartphone when making your own videos. And then make a spreadsheet. That's it. Thank you very much.